going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chucky! I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day so far. I've got a good one. I've actually got two. Same guy, same sovereign citizen in front of Magistrate Braley and in front of Judge Washington. Now, the first part I did cover about a month ago, and I'm not playing the entire thing. I cut it up pretty. Let's just say I took about 75% of the hearing. I will have the link below if you want to go watch the entire video, but I just kept in the main parts just so you have an idea of what happened in the first hearing. And then I've got the second hearing with Judge Washington. All right, before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
So, to this person on the device just labeled Mac, would you be Stephen Smith?
My Christian appellate name is capital S, lowercase Tepehen, capital S, lowercase Mith.
Okay, so that would be a yes. Thank you. Deputy Sims. Now calling 24W003208A, the Township of Ypsilanti versus Stephen Cameron Nigel Smith. Deputy Sims, state your name for the record.
Deputy Sims.
Thank you. Okay, and Mr. Smith, you've already stated and spelled your name out. Thank you. Today is the date and time set for an informal hearing in this matter. What I have is a citation issued November 17th, 2024, that charges that on or about that date you did operate a motor vehicle on Holmes Road at or near Ford Boulevard. And when you were pulled over, you failed to disclose to the officer that you had a concealed pistol and a CPL. So it looks like you were also cited for having a window tint. I don't have that citation, which presumably means that it was paid. So again, this is a civil infraction. There is no criminal penalty associated with this, no jail time, no probation. There is, however, a fine. Before we get started, Deputy Sims, was there anything that you wanted to say?
No, ma'am, I'm ready to proceed.
Okay, thank you. Just a moment. Mr. Smith, as you have likely heard already, you have three basic options when it comes to this citation, and these are your three options. You can accept responsibility, that is basically admit that you did not disclose per MCL 28.425F that you had a license to carry a concealed pistol and that you did not present that immediately to the peace officer when you were pulled over. You can accept responsibility with an explanation so the court can take into consideration any mitigating factors and potentially lessen or eliminate the fine. Finally, you can deny responsibility, that is, deny that you failed to disclose your CPL immediately, at which point we will proceed to the informal hearing. I will swear in both sides, take testimony, and make a decision based on preponderance of the evidence. Which of those three options are you going with?
I want to, may I grant my name to the court and make the court trustee?
Okay.
But the option three, as your question, I deny responsibility and I have an explanation.
Okay. So if you are denying responsibility, then I'm going to swear you in and swear in the deputy, and I will take testimony from both sides. So let me explain how this is going to work. After I have sworn you both in, I am going to take testimony from Deputy Sims first, because Deputy Sims is the officer in charge of issuing the citation. That means he's basically the plaintiff in this matter. Okay. Once he has finished his testimony, which you are not to interrupt, it will be your turn to testify. He is not to interrupt you either. After I've heard the testimony from both sides, I will make a decision based on preponderance of the evidence. As I stated before, that is a 49% to 51% standard. So basically, whoever's testimony is slightly more persuasive. This is not a criminal case. It is not beyond a reasonable doubt in this situation. So, do you comprehend everything that I just said?
I do comprehend.
Yes, I remember that. I remember Magistrate saying that. Not gonna say, do you understand? You're gonna fight me on that. I do love how he said, option three, I'm gonna fight this with an explanation. That wasn't an option. That no, that's not how that works. You're fighting the ticket. That you anyways, you guys know what I'm going. Let's go.
Thank you. Okay, raise your right hand, Deputy Sims and Mr. Smith.
For about 3 a.m. My partner and I observed a black Ford Fusion. It was on Ford Boulevard. I believe it had just turned onto Ford Boulevard with tinted windows. Proceeded after the car. It turned into the gas station there on the corner, and we followed it into the gas station and proceeded towards one of the exits. Before it returned to the road, the driver, Mr. Smith, exited and began yelling at us. At that point in time, we activated our emergency lights and conducted the traffic stop there. We made contact with him, explained the reason that we had followed behind him. And when I approached the vehicle, I looked in the vehicle and I observed a firearm on the passenger seat. At no point in time during that did I hear I have a CPL until after the firearm was located. He was detained. The CPL was verified. He was issued the citations and released.
It is your turn.
I want to mention there's no damaged property or victim under sworn oath. Also, I believe I was being racially profiled. I had been pulled over, which I did stop, and I was let go because I wasn't suspected of any crimes, just as I wasn't suspected of any crimes by him as well, as he mentioned. We had sat in the intersection, which I was in the middle of a DoorDash, and I wanted to get on my phone to see where I was at. When I looked away from my phone, I seen him, the officer, and another deputy, or whoever it may have been, an officer, also sitting in the middle intersection for about 30 seconds, maybe to even 60 seconds. So he could see me through my windshield. While I believe it was racial profiling, considering the area we were in wasn't the best area. So when I pulled, which I did use my turn signal, and it was a stop sign, or it was a light, a signal light. So when the light turned green, I turned right with my turn signal. I also turn signaled into the gas station, which I was going to stop to check my phone, because like I told the officer that had pulled me over 10 minutes before, which I'm sure he heard on the radio call, I was door dashing, which I had admitted to both of the officers. He called another officer in response to what he calls me pulling myself over. He never admitted to pulling me over. He said I pulled myself over. I got out the car to explain myself that I was door dashing and that I felt like I was being harassed because I was just previously pulled over. I did not have a firearm on person, and he didn't have a reason to suspect me of any crimes or try to search my vehicle. I was illegally searched on person without my disclosure. I told them I don't consent to any searches, and they were digging in my pockets. I have a legal license, and I'm not suspected of any crimes. So after he said I pulled myself over, he flashed his lights, and they kind of like grabbed me up, and I feel like they assaulted me in a way. And after he figured out that I did have a CPL disclosure, which he never gave me time to disclose because it was not on my person. So I didn't feel the need to because I was not present in my motor carrier for him to be in any type of danger. After he sat me in the car, which I feel like I should not have been detained that way, for about 15 minutes, they let me be on my way with a citation. And I don't believe I deserve the citation. And he doesn't have any evidence of the situation. It's just a presumption with no material.
All right. So the officer saw a firearm on the passenger seat. It was clearly within reaching distance, and he didn't disclose he had a CPL or he had a firearm. Yeah, no, you're gonna get detained at that moment. So he took you out of the car. Maybe a little bit. I don't know this because we don't have video, but maybe a little bit forcefully, more forceful than normal because it was a firearm. They wanted to make sure to separate you and the firearm as quick as possible. Because you're supposed to say that right at the beginning of a traffic stop. Yeah, and you just said you didn't. You admitted not doing that. Sorry, man. You're gonna lose that one. Yeah. I think that was it. Okay, let's keep going.
So the court is ready to make a decision in this matter. So in regards to the B ticket, that is the equipment violation, basically having obstructed vision with window tint. At this point, the court is finding you not responsible for the window tint, Mr. Smith, because based on just the testimony today, I don't think there's enough established to confirm whether or not the window tint would have been in violation. Now, regarding the A citation, that being the failure to disclose the CPL, the court is finding you responsible in that matter. And that is, again, based on MCL 28.425F. Basically, an individual licensed under this act to carry a concealed pistol and who is carrying a concealed pistol and who is stopped by a peace officer shall immediately disclose to the peace officer that he or she is carrying a pistol concealed upon your person or in your vehicle.
May I add, please?
Well, no, because at this point I'm making my ruling, and the pistol was in the vehicle. I understand it doesn't sound like you were in the vehicle at this point, but you were engaged with the officer, and it was your responsibility as the person with the CPL to immediately disclose that you had a CPL and that there was a weapon in the vehicle. So you are being found responsible. Again, this is a civil infraction for first offense. There's a fine here of $500, and your license to carry concealed is being suspended for 6 months. Now, what I am going to say is that you do have the right to appeal my decision as the magistrate. If you do so within the next 7 days, the case will be reheard by the judge. So,
How do I appeal?
you would have to either consult with an attorney or you can talk to the clerks about getting the paperwork. I cannot give you legal advice. So,
Yeah, because I wasn't, as he stated before, sorry, I wasn't actually engaged in a traffic stop. That was the problem.
At this point, the court has made its ruling. This hearing is concluded. I believe that concludes the docket.
All right. Now we're gonna fast forward to this past week. I do apologize. I didn't do the fade in, fade outs. I meant to do that, and that's always the last step I put in videos, and apparently I forgot to do it. So I apologize. So we don't. Yeah. Anyways, Magistrate barely did hang up on him, and it was glorious. I remember when that happened the first time. I absolutely loved it. Again, check the link in the description if you want to watch that entire video. I cut out more than half of it. I think I said 75% of the intro, but I did take out more than half of it because it was really long and there's a lot of downtime. But if you want to fully understand what they were talking about, then whatever. But I think you got the gist of it. Now, fast forward to Judge Washington. This guy did appeal, and unfortunately, the officer didn't show up. But that doesn't stop a little humor coming from Judge Washington. All right, let's go.
Someone named Steph that was just let into the courtroom. Can you please tell us your first and last name? Please unmute your device.
My name is spelled capital S, lowercase t, lowercase e, lowercase p.
Sir, please tell us your name, and I didn't ask you to spell it.
My name is Stephen Smith.
Thank you. We'll call the matter of Ypsilanti Township versus Stephen Smith, case number 24W003208A.
Paul Barnett on behalf of the township.
All right, we're hearing an appeal today. Mr. Smith filed a claim of appeal in this particular matter.
That's correct, Your Honor. I did reach out to Deputy Sims, who is the officer needed to hold this hearing, and he replied to me that he was not available. He's on vacation and out of the state. So I'm asking for an adjournment of the hearing.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, what is your response, sir?
He failed to appear, so I'd like the case to be dismissed.
All right, so this is a carrying a concealed weapon, and he has a concealed weapons license, but he failed to disclose it to the officer. That's what the ticket is.
I believe that's correct, Your Honor.
And Mr. Smith, you understand, sir, that if it is dismissed, they could reauthorize these charges?
No, I don't understand.
All right, well, now I've told you. Now do you understand that, sir?
I don't exactly. I can't say I understand, but I get what you said, but I don't understand the means behind it. So,
Well, that's what the law allows for, any dismissal without it being on the merits of the case. It's without prejudice. Without prejudice means that the prosecution has the ability to reauthorize it.
okay.
Okay? And so is that what you're requesting right now?
Yes, a dismissal.
Mr. Barnett, I think what's going to have to happen in these cases is if you're not going to be able to proceed, you may need to send in a formal request ahead of time so that the court is aware of that.
Understood, Your Honor. Yeah.
I'm going to allow them to have it dismissed. All right. So this case will be dismissed. It's probably going to be reauthorized. But at this time, your bond will be returned, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, that's it. That is it. The officer did not appear. It was dismissed. As of about an hour before I started recording this video, I looked the defendant up, and it has not been reauthorized yet. But it hasn't even been a week yet. I don't know how long it usually takes to reauthorize the case, and I don't know if they're going to. They might. Um, I will keep you updated because I want to keep looking because I like soft sits, and I think you do too. All right. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. I would appreciate it. That's all I got. Until next time, bye.